Welcome to Bet the Edge. It's Thursday, November 10th. Thank you to everyone watching live on our NBC Sports YouTube channel. Up today, Falcons-Panthers is getting wet and wild, Drew. It's supposed to be rainy. It's supposed to be windy. It's an ugly game already, but we're going to talk about it, covering some props in the game sides, handicapping also some major Week 11 college football today. And, of course, the NBA is tonight. We have both had our fill of it so far this season. All that and more coming up here on Bet the Edge. But as I stated, we're looking at 15 to 25, 35-mile-per-hour winds in the second half of this game, Drew. Rain as the night goes on. It's Falcons-Panthers. We knew it was going to be ugly, but it's uglier than anticipated now. What do you see in this game? Because the line movement is hitting the under right now.
Yeah, second half under in particular is going to be an interesting one if those winds manifest.
Yes, that's what I thought.
The market makers have been hitting this pretty hard all week. So if you're late to the game and you're looking at 41.5 and wondering, is this fair? Has this moved? Yes, it has. Yes, it is. This is, we started at 44.5 here. We were on the other side of 44 at one point. Yeah, 44.5 a couple days ago. It's come down substantially. This is all weather related. As far as how does the weather kind of play into this matchup? We knew the Falcons were going to be 90% run anyway. This just doubles down their likelihood of going with plan A offensively. I think that will likely work against the Panthers defense that has been somewhat soft against the run, particularly of late. And I think, a lot of the success that they had the first two times these teams matched up is replicatable. So I think ultimately the Falcons, they're probably going to get theirs. They ought to be favorite. I'm surprised the market isn't also moving a little bit more aggressively in their direction. You saw some Carolina money hit the screen this week. It's moved it to 2.5. 3 is fair for me. So at this price point, it's Falcons or pass. And I think ultimately I'll be watching live. Maybe Carolina comes out with something a little interesting. Maybe they get a lead. Maybe you can catch an even better price on Atlanta on the money line, potentially plus money. But either way, this is Falcons with plus money on the money line. Either way, this is I'm only looking at Falcons. I'm only looking at under. And I'll be trying to capture better prices in game and at halftime.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You're never going to talk me off a primetime under. It's not going to happen. But especially the divisional under, that's even more enticing to play this game, in my opinion. Especially, like I said, we were talking about this before you hopped on briefly backstage of the show. And I said second half under. This is the way that I'm going to look to live bet this game for sure if the winds are picking up to what they're saying they could be. Because I already played a prop in this game, Drew. PJ Walker, 184.5 passing yards. That is now down to 170.5. So I obviously look like I'm on the right side. Anyone that says they're playing PJ Walker's overs, good luck. Guys averaging 164 in 6 career starts. I don't think the Panthers will replicate what they did against the Falcons, but it sounded like the interim coaching staff thought it would be that way. So let me ask you this, Drew. Out of the couple player props here, we got guys like Cordell Patterson and Foreman sitting at 54.5 yards rushing. You got Mariota's passing yards sitting around 160, 157. Anything catches your eye? Are you just playing running back overs here or fading the quarterbacks? That's how I'm approaching
the guy. I love that Patterson is back for them. He's a dynamic force, and he's getting a decent share of the carries. But because it is a shared backfield, you're getting a little bit of a discount on all of these guys. Of the running backs late, guy who has shown the most pop as I watched the film was Algier. I think he's the guy you circle as expecting to kind of get the game-breaking play here more so than Patterson. And I would look for Algier as a touchdown scorer, Algier overs on the ground. And just in general, you're probably going to get somewhere in the ballpark of 40 rushing attempts for the Falcons overall. So I'm not looking to fade any of those guys in terms of unders. But, I think of the 3, Algier is the one that stands out the most.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I like his prop a lot. It's getting juiced really heavy right now, 135 to the over 31.5 rushing yards. So if you're watching, I think that's probably going to make it on my card here. I think that's a great look too. And you nailed it last Thursday when you said Damien Pierce might run the ball 20 plus times, get 30 round touches.
That was an easier handicap though. This is a little bit more tricky.
I agree. Well, if you guys want more DFS betting and fantasy advice, we're for kickoff tonight. Make sure you guys tune to NFL and NBC Sports YouTube, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. I am usually on there, but now it is Lawrence Jackson, Kyle Dvorak tonight, holding it down with another special guest. I will be on the road, but they'll got everything covered for Falcons Panthers. And they thought I was crazy last week when I said Damien Pierce game, 20-plus carries. That's what the well capper said. They said, sounds aggressive, bro. Guess what? Damien Pierce, he's aggressive, bro.
He got it.
You got to roll with us. You got to listen to Drew. He knows what he's talking about here. But right here, Drew, I don't even know if I need your opinion because the books are telling us what's about to happen. Okay. It's week 11 in college football. Mm-hmm. TCU at Texas. The Longhorns are laying 7 points, over under at 65. TCU is 9-0. Talking about college football playoffs, and here we got Texas laying 7 points. This is definitely a Longhorns or pass spot for me. Any strong opinions? Any of your sharp friends playing the Longhorns this weekend?
I have seen only Texas action. I think there's been a hesitancy for anyone who breaks down sort of the advanced statistics to really give TCU credit anywhere close to their record now. 9-0 and 7-point dogs is maybe tough for people to square, but this TCU team certainly does have a lot of matchup disadvantages against Texas in this spot. And, I think, people probably were looking at this market hoping that patience would provide them an opportunity to get on Texas at maybe say a 6.5 instead of a 7. I don't think that's happening. There are enough, players that I know of that are waiting for that chance that, if it shows, it's going to get snapped up pretty quickly here. So I think this probably closes 7. There may be some game day action that comes in on Texas that pushes this to a 7.5, which I think is what I've heard from market makers as what they think fair price is.
Yeah, and last week when we were talking about Georgia and Tennessee, as we got close to that game about Friday night, Saturday morning, we saw people with big bags of money running in on Georgia and moving that line up there for the game. Yep. So I think this could be the similar situation. Texas will close 7.5 or 8. I think that's the right call. I like the over in this game too, I will point out. You look at TCU's defense, 70th in rushing defense, 74th in scoring defense. It's obviously a Big 12 defense. And you're going against Bijan Robinson, best running back in the country, Quinn Ewers, 11 touchdowns to 1 pick in Texas, 4 wins as a starter. And you got the Longhorns, who are 103rd in passing defense this year. Max Duggan certainly could light anybody up, 24 tutties, 2 picks. So, yeah, I think, Drew, we're in agreement. It's a Texas or pass spot. If you want to have some fun or you like TCU, just play the over. I think that's the way to go about this one. I'm going to give you a fun fact, though, here. This is insane. UCF and Tulane are playing, okay? UCF and Tulane are both ranked opponents. This Saturday's game between the two will be the first time that Tulane has hosted another ranked team since November 26th of what year? What do you think?
I mean, the way you set it up makes me think it's like forever ago. So I'll say 2012.
Not even close. 1949.
What?
1949. Tulane was in the SEC, ranked number 10 in the country, and played LSU, who was number 13 in the country. That's how long it's been since a ranked Tulane team has hosted another ranked team. Pretty wild, right?
Tulane has been the darlings of the betting public so far this season. 8-1 against the spread to go along with an 8-1 outright record. A lot of those games they covered without really much of a sweat either. So a lot of support for this team generally, and surprising that this isn't a 3-point spread, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I actually agree. I'm a huge UCF guy. I have their over 8.5 win total for 2 units. So I need 2 wins in the last 3 games to cash that. It's now become a sweat, and I'm not going to lie. As a guy who's watched every UCF game, this is a Tulane or pass spot. UCF is not nearly as good on the road as they are at home, obviously, like most teams, but the bounce house is a ridiculous place. Tulane, balanced offense, great defense. I'd look at the under 54.5 if you don't want to play a side, but Mikey Keene, John Reese Plumlee, we don't know who will be the starting quarterback in this game for UCF yet. And honestly, Tulane, like I said, 1949, the last time they ranked they were ranked hosting another ranked team. They're going to be pumped. So the green wave, Drew, I think that's the way we're taking this game.
I dig it, man. It's been a season where you don't get in front of the teams that are hot. Like trying to sell the top has been a nightmare in both college football and the NFL this season. So I'm not getting in the way of the mighty green wave.
Yeah, the NFL, I feel like I've been doing all right because it's been all about the underdogs. But college football has been really hard to determine who's a worthy underdog and who is not this year. But last week we did hit on another worthy underdog, and that was Notre Dame. All right, they got a huge win over Clemson. And for everyone that is a Notre Dame fighting Irish fan, make sure you guys check out the Notre Dame on NBC podcast. Our guy Corey Robinson's not only going to look back on that win over number 4 Clemson, but he also sits down with the best tight end in the country, the record-setting tight end, Michael Mayer. And over the big victory, they're going to talk about what's coming up next Saturday against Navy. Game I'm looking at the under, just giving you guys a little look ahead there. But wherever you guys listen to your podcast, wherever you guys download, subscribe to your pods, check out Notre Dame on NBC podcast. That's definitely going to be a good one. Let's move on to the NBA, Drew, because Monday, 8-0 day from me. Killed the slate.
Amazing.
It was all mine. All right, I was wearing a cape, but on Wednesday, I lost 3 bets by 2 or less points or assists. 2-5 day. I woke up this morning, hit the gym at 5:30 in the morning. It's a bounce back day, my friend. Sixers, Hawks laying 1. What are you thinking in this one?
I make this wrong team favored.
Ooh, I like it
the
too.
Hawks.
I think so.
I backed the Hawks to get the upset against the the Mighty Bucks a couple of days ago. Hawks, by the way, extremely disappointing last night against the Utah Jazz. They come out firing after some nice adjustments at halftime, get the lead in that third quarter, and then just no show. It was pathetic, and it actually speaks to one of the big things that's going on with this Hawks team, which is fatigue is starting to set in. Philadelphia is coming in quite rested. I think this is a decent buy low spot for Philadelphia. I make them by my numbers a 2-point favorite. So the fact that you're getting them as plus or close to plus money on the money line, depending on where you shop, I think is a very fair bet. Philly gets the win. They're getting Atlanta's playing better defense this year. Surely that's been the big improvement that they've made, largely because of the the acquisition at guard of Murray. But it's still a really tough matchup for the Hawks against Joel Embiid, particularly in the post. So I think that Philadelphia will have ample opportunity here to exercise their offense, playing better defense in general as well. But really the rest angle is what's got me so fired up here for Philly. So let's get some Sixers money line in this game.
I love it. I know you're going to like who I'm going to talk about too, because there's a prop that I target over 29.5 points and assists from Tyrese Maxey tonight.
Nice.
I think Maxey on the second night of back-to-back for the Hawks, like you said, their defense has improved a lot this season, but they've been a team that we know historically, if they don't cover, they're not coming anywhere close to that. I believe it's 40 or 41 straight games that if they do not cover this, or they lose the game, they're not covering the spread. So you look at the Sixers, they've only allowed the second lowest 3-point percentage in the past 3 games. I feel like the Hawks are going to struggle to score. So I kind of like the under here, but I feel more confident back in the Sixers side. Like you said, the NBA is all situational, a lot of rest advantage based when you're betting on these teams. And Tyrese Maxey, he's electric. He's fast. He can shoot from anywhere and drive on anyone. If someone's going to wear you down, I think Embiid and Maxey are 2 pretty good bets here. Can I buy in? Can you buy into Maxey tonight with me?
Absolutely. And part of the reason, and we didn't even mention it, no James Harden in this game. He is confirmed out. And in his absence, Maxey has absolutely tried to broaden his impact on the offensive side of the ball by being a creator, by being a distributor. And that has shown up statistically. He had 6 assists last time out, and I would expect if his scoring ticks up a bit because of this matchup, then you're going to get that 29.5. You said P plus A. Okay, cool. I like that. I dig that. I think that's a fair projection to the over. And realistically, like, it wasn't fluky what the Sixers did last time out against the Suns. Suns are a very good team. They're a good regular season team. And, that was not a great matchup for Philly. So that was all that much more impressive in terms of who this team is right now. Currently, the market is rating these teams pretty similarly. Philly is market ranked as the 9th best team. Atlanta is 12th. But realistically, I think there is a decent gap. Philly rises to the cream of the crop in the Eastern Conference over the next month, in my opinion, and largely because of spots like this.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. I think the Sixers are a team. The first few games of the season, you might have been like, are we going to be worried about this team moving forward? Everyone was talking about how they were looking starting out, 0-2, 0-3. But I
Mm-hmm.
like where they're headed. And I really like the improvement of Tyrese Maxey. My most improved player pick, probably your most improved player pick, I'd assume. I know you're a big fan of him. I'm also a big fan, though, what Damian Lillard can do. Last night, he went over his point total, but the books closed his props for 3 hours, Drew, because they knew what it was hitting for. He might play tonight. Zion might play tonight. We don't know because the modern day NBA, you have to wait for certain teams to see who's in, who's out, who's having their minutes monitored. But the Pelicans did beat the Bulls yesterday, 115-111. Blazers beat the Hornets, 105-95. We see the Pelicans laying 6.5 points here at home versus a scrappy Blazers team who's covered a ton of spreads this year. Who do you like in this game? Any picks?
Okay, this one's tough because both of these teams are gassed.
Pelicans exhausted a lot of energy last night playing the Bulls.
And you can see it too. Like it was a fun game. And I think that turning around after such a fun physical, challenge is going to be tough for this Pelicans team. Certainly would not make them 6.5 point favorites. That said, Portland also was a very up and down performance for them. I don't know if you caught the beginning of that third quarter, but it was literally like they stayed in the locker room and let the Hornets do layup line for about 5 minutes there before ultimately closing the gap and getting the win. Impressive win from the Trailblazers. That's kind of been the name of the game for them all season this year, other than a couple of slip ups, against some of the elite teams. This Blazers team is winning games against kind of equal competition. Pelicans in general, I thought they have some questions still they need to answer about how these pieces ultimately fit together. It's a weirdly composed team, particularly in terms of their closing five. So this is a spot to back Portland, but I am going to wait because there is a very realistic chance we are going to get surprise news in this one in terms of player availability. Both Portland and Pelicans, again, these are some of the more challenging, games that they have in terms of, over the entire balance of the season. Early in the season, guys aren't perfectly fit yet. So finding some surprises and getting news that some guys are going to miss this contest and the number going to flip flop around seems likely to me. So I've passed for now, but ultimately we'll likely take the points whenever we get kind of confirmation of lineups.
Yeah, I'm with you here. It's definitely Blazers or pass, but I'm not going to put a single dollar on anything in this game until I see the injury news. And I think too, looking for player props, you'll see Zion this year had 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists in his only back-to-back game, season high 37 minutes. But that was an OT game that they had to push a comeback. Different situation here. Zion last night in the first half of that Bulls game was getting double teamed. And I've never – you might have seen the highlight of Anthony Edwards standing with his hands on his hip while the ball was getting passed around a couple games ago. But that's what Zion Williamson looked like a couple times. So if you can take him out of the game by double teaming him early, he looks very unenthused to be playing offense or defense out there at some time. So, yeah, I like the Blazers a lot, man. Any other looks on the NBA card tonight before we get out of here? Or
well, it's
sticking
a small
with the
card.
Sixers?
There's only the 2 other games, and I want to kind of pick your brain on a couple of thoughts here. So the Miami game is easy. This is heater pass. Hornets. Number 1, the Hornets stink. Number 2, they're not even playing all their players. No Ball, no Hayward, no Martin in this game. This is literally a G League squad that they're trotting out in Miami. And Miami has Tyler Hero and Caleb Martin right now is questionable. I don't think that really matters for this contest. I think they can still cover the double-digit spread in what should be a pretty lopsided contest. But the other game, I'm not exactly sure what to make of this. So Bradley Beal is out because of health and safety protocols. They have a relatively lean squad to begin with. A lot of their depth not going to be available for this game, and they're taking on a Mavericks who are coming in off of a pretty a couple of pretty unimpressive performances. The Mavericks team looks like a team that wants to win ugly. They let the game against the Magic yesterday slip through their fingers, even though they've basically had a completely full roster and everybody got their normal complement of minutes. They lose outright to a Magic team that doesn't even have Banchero available. So it's been strange to kind of put it politely about what's going on with the Mavericks. But that said, without Bradley Beal, why is this number only 3.5? It's the market is kind of bottom falling out in terms of support for this Mavs team, laying points on the road, I suppose. But this isn't that bad of a spot for them. It's relatively neutral in terms of rest between these two teams. So I'm considering laying the points with the Mavs. Do you have a read on this one?
Yeah, I mean, if you look historically about what Luka Doncic has done after a loss, I mean, the guy's balled. And I don't really see that stopping here tonight. I am curious because when I saw that line as well, I would have probably made it like 5.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, the loss last night, like the Mavericks just didn't play good in the fourth quarter. Doncic missed a ton of easy shots there in the fourth quarter too.
Mm-hmm.
But when you play at a slow pace, the slowest pace in the NBA like the Mavericks do, and then you play against a team like the Orlando Magic who have size everywhere, multiple 7-footers. I mean, I wasn't shocked that the Magic hung in for that game, but this is definitely a Luka Doncic over points type of game for me. This year he scored 32, 41, 44 points off a loss. Last year he was averaging over 30 points per game off a loss. He had 29 field goal attempts and went 2 for 11 from 3 yesterday. So, yeah, this is definitely a Maverick spot or pass for me. I like – if you want some betting advice on the Wizards this Saturday, they're playing the Jazz over. I don't see how these teams don't run up and down the court in this one. But this game, I feel like the Mavericks going to slow down the Wizards a lot. And without having Bradley Beal, that's going to be detrimental. So I'm with you on Dallas.
Okay. That's fair. I almost the same number as you. I made this one -5.5 for Dallas. So we'll likely pull the trigger there. But so far, all I've bet is Sixers money line. But I have Dallas, Miami, and the Blazers circled.
Yep. I'm on the exact same size as you, my friend. I got Maxey in my pocket today. We'll put some Luka Doncic in our pocket, of course. And it's also worth noting 3 of the slowest paced teams in the NBA play tonight. The Wizards, the Sixers, and the Mavericks. And some of those teams back-to-back. So if you're an under better, it's not a bad night to be betting some unders in the NBA.
Sounds like an wonderful night in all of professional sports.
As well, yeah. And keep in mind, we talked Panthers, Falcons. You guys probably erased that from your minds already because you don't want to watch that game. But second half, we're going to be looking at the live betting unders. We like Tyler Algier in this game, fading PJ Walker. So best of luck to you guys. Whatever you decide to do tonight, it's a night full of sports. There's also college basketball on too. Everything's happening right now. So don't forget to head over to NBCSportsEdge.com or Roto World to get all the information to help you guys with your wagers. Thank you for watching live on our NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, rate, like us, podcast form as well. Check out Jay and Drew tomorrow. I'll see you guys next Thursday.